Over the course of a week, we traveled through central Appalachia, from Charleston, West Virginia, down through eastern Kentucky and ending in Tennessee. Every conversation we had centered on the shocking impacts of the opioid crisis. The human toll is devastating.
The opioid crisis is not a single thing. It's an epidemic of epidemics. We have high rates of overdose deaths. We have the children who are afflicted, not only the children who are born exposed to drugs in utero, but also once they grow up, they're coming into households where drug use is prevalent.
Probably 95% of our students that are low income are affected by the opioid epidemic. They already live in trauma at home. We don't want them to live in trauma at school. And so anything we can do to make their life here better is what we do.
Opioids, everybody thinks, is a white problem in West Virginia, where African Americans have a much higher death rate from opioid abuse. Oh, I lived through the crack epidemic. On top of the crack epidemic, now the opioid has came. But when it was the crack epidemic, it was just a legal problem. It was more police, more federal police officers, more police officers on the street, and that's the way you respond to black problems. It's a law enforcement problem. Now it's a public health problem, and I appreciate that, because we weren't willing to say that when it was crack. We weren't willing to say it.
One of the common threads of the culture in West Virginia is this sense of shared hardship that we've had in the past. You had people coming together in times of extreme hardship, when there were layoffs, when there were strikes, when there were deaths in the mines. But in large part because of changes that have happened in our society, we live more separate. And the opioid crisis has only exacerbated that.
I think West Virginia is a place where we have so many challenges, so many problems, and so few resources, and constantly diminishing resources. And yet, we figure out how to get things done.
Even with times of drug addiction and poverty, we fight like hell.